Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And the latest developments have gotten me really thinking about things happening around Ripple. So obviously, in the past, we have talked about how Ripple could possibly become a crypto bank. To me personally, I think that Ripple has their goals set on becoming a major crypto custody platform, as well as a crypto liquidity platform. This aligns perfectly with their goals, but they are also trying to bank the unbanked, which could ultimately lead to Ripple becoming a crypto bank at some point in time, which would be very significant. Now, with that in mind, as we do really kind of look at Ripple and as we do look at the recent developments, it really did get me thinking back to a few announcements from Ripple. One was this announcement going all the way back to 2019. This is banking the unbanked. Fintech is improving life for billions of people. And as we do look into this, we are seeing a lot of that focus, currently speaking, being expanded upon. Ripple is starting to create, extreme value for the payments landscape, but also trying to bank those that are unbanked and underserved. And it's in a lot of those areas that they have centered out on for so long. So as we do look at this, it also got me thinking about the Internet of Value, because this is right on par with their vision of the Internet of Value. And when we go over to this article from 2017, which I did include in a recent video actually, we see the Internet of Value, what it means and how it benefits everyone. And as we do scroll down, there's a few things around this. So obviously, yes, they talk about the typical international payment, the cost, the time, all that kind of stuff, which, again, it's everything that we know about already. What I do want to talk about is down here. So if we scroll all the way down, here we have connecting blockchains is the key. Now, yes, there is obviously Quant with Overledger out there as well. Big player. I do think that they could ultimately provide a lot of value here as well. But I do want to center out on Interledger protocol, because the business I'm going to talk about here in a second is very significant. Now, as we do look at this, yes, this is interoperability. They want to allow for standardization of instant settlement between anything. I mean, we're talking about anything of value, all assets of value. Now, when we talk about that, this could be crypto. It could be, existing currencies as well, fiat currencies, if you will, securities, which is stocks, bonds, and commodities, and then even tokenization, right? Anything of value that is tokenized could also be settled through something like this, which is pretty significant. Now, again, all of this aligns with down here, the second era of the internet, the Internet of Value, how we can move everything in a frictionless way, making cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and reliable. All of that, those great things that we have addressed. Now, doing this, they do say that it will achieve connection to billions of people around the world to transact, give rise to entirely new businesses and industries, increase financial inclusion for millions of underbanked consumers. So again, as we do look at this, yes, this is going to be very large. And ultimately what we will see rise from this is a new economy, a new financial system, if you will. And I think that this is, again, right on par with everything that we've been seeing recently. But in this video, I want to talk about the shocking connections with Mojaloop. So if you've been around for a while around the XRP community, then you know about Mojaloop. This is one of those huge organizations that are ultimately allowing for financial inclusion to happen. Now, this is a nonprofit organization, but the connections that they have with Ripple is significant, and outside of Ripple as well is very large. So we do see here, earlier this month, their director actually spoke at the Payments Canada Summit discussing real-time payment solutions success stories. Now, what's interesting about this is that there's already nearly 80 countries around the world that have real-time payment systems. But do you know what's missing around these real-time payment systems? Is real-time settlement. This is where a lot of people kind of get confused. When you have real-time payments, it's completely different than real-time settlement. The reason why I'm talking about this and the reason why I bring this article up is I want to dive deep into Mojaloop. I know that there's been a lot of videos recently talking about Swift and Ripple and all that, those kind of things. As we look at this company, they are right on par with what's happening around the payment landscape. And I actually think that as we look at Swift and what Swift's doing, and outside of what Swift's doing, there's a lot of confusion on where we are kind of headed with payments. To me personally, I don't believe in the idea of Swift being around forever. I think that we will see new payment networks rise. I think that RippleNet and what RippleNet is doing with the CBDC platform is something very interesting because it's right on par with what I've talked about with CBDCs rising around the world and full-on decentralization of the financial system. Now, with that, we look at companies like Mojaloop, and we do see Mojaloop was designed to provide a reference model for payment interoperability that can be used to overcome barriers that have slowed the spread of digital financial services. Or adapt it, or as a blueprint, the Mojaloop Foundation's open source software can be used by organizations to build interoperable digital payment systems that enable seamless, affordable financial services between individual users, banks, government entities, merchants, mobile network operators, providers, and technology companies, connecting the underserved with the emerging digital economy. Now, as we do scroll down, we could actually see where Mojaloop can help. They do break down a few things around this. And then also, we do see some of the sponsorship members here. And I know that some of these are going to turn a lot of people off, but hey, it is what it is. These are the people that are a part of this. So we do see the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Coil, Google, the Rockefeller Foundation, and Modest Box. Now, as we do scroll over here, we do see Interledger Protocol Summit 2022. This was November 14th, 2022. This is why I say pay attention to what Mojaloop is doing. And here we have discussed how Mojaloop technology is making payments available and simple for more people around the world. We are seeing the rise of digital payment systems happening every single day. And I do think that the leaders and the pioneers behind this are these companies like Interledger Protocol, for an example, because if you actually look at the board of directors behind this, first off, you do see the direct connection to Coil, because behind Interledger Protocol, well, you have the chairperson of Interledger Foundation and the founder and CEO of Coil, and also the co-creator of the Interledger Protocol, Chris Larsen, chairperson of Ripple. And then we also do see a few other people here as well from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Clearing Company, CEO of Jordan Payments and Clearing Company. And then down here, the co-creator of the Interledger Protocol, and also the president and CEO of, obviously, Interledger Protocol as well. And then we do see our funders, Ripple and Coil, two major players around Interledger Protocol. And again, as we do look at what they're trying to do with Mojaloop, making digital payments affordable and simple for everyone, everywhere. The Mojaloop Foundation is a charitable nonprofit with a vision of universal financial inclusion. Its mission is to enable developing countries to design digital financial services that are accessible and inclusive to all. You can also see some of the featured products as well. You could actually look into their work as well if you guys did want to. I'm not going to do that in this video alone, but I do think that Interledger Protocol is one that everyone should be focused on. Even if you are into Quant and Overledger, I think that these are complementary systems. But also, as we do look at the memberships behind Mojaloop, besides obviously the main ones, we also do see the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is a key player with Ripple. We do see Ripple, of course, and then we also do see some of the promoters as well. All of these connections here are fairly significant, but also when you look at the leadership behind Mojaloop, specifically their chairman, this individual is very interesting because his background is very significant. But if you want to look through all of these names, you guys are more than welcome to. I just went and looked at the chairman because I thought that his background was pretty significant. A few of these other individuals obviously do have a significant background as well. For example, you could read all about them on the website if you did want to. A lot of them come from substantial financial backgrounds. But the chairman himself is very interesting because, one, this is an individual that came from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He's actually still working there for 9 years and 10 months so far. Financial services for the poor. But then down here, we also see that he was a member of the board of directors at Interledger Foundation, still there. And then also, let me go back, sorry. Also, we see Swift. He has been working at Swift, or I should say he has worked at Swift for 23 years and 5 months. And a lot of this is centered around being a chief architect around their network and their overall privately owned messaging network itself. We also do see that he was the director of product management and the head of innovation and co-founder of InnoTribe. So as we do look at this guy has a substantial background behind payment systems, creating payment networks. I mean, this is something very interesting to me. Especially as like we look at some of the backgrounds of these individuals that are around the space, like even XDC with Andre Kasserman, for an example. He comes from Swift as well. It seems as though a lot of Swift employees are moving away from Swift and actually focused on much larger things, which is the digital economy. Because I think that this is going to phase out Swift itself. I might be wrong though. But also, Ripple joins Mojaloop Foundation in push to bring financial services to 1.7 billion unbanked individuals. As we look at everything here, it's clear to me. It's clear to me that Ripple is building out a solid infrastructure for the future around the Web3 economy and also the Internet of Value. We look over here, Ripple and the Mojaloop Foundation creating a more financially inclusive future. And you could read all through the questions here if you wanted to. But for the most part, to me, I think that what we have been seeing around Ripple is the focus on the Internet of Value, centered out on moving money as fast as possible at the lowest cost possible as well. We are seriously seeing a significant development happening with Ripple, and it really kind of puts all focus on the idea of what they are doing right now as well. And again, a lot of this is still centered out on XRP. Although everyone wants to say like XRP is not going to be utilized, we know that that is false. We know that XRP is it's the secret sauce. It's the oil that will lube up the financial system, if you will. And I think that all of the developments recently with Ripple is something pretty significant. I think everyone, if you are not, focused on what Ripple is doing outside of just crypto alone, like we need to make sure that we are focused on what they are doing with a lot of these major companies as well, because all of this is pinpointing us to the end of the road, if you will, that last mile, which they did make a post about as well, which is, bringing the Internet of Value to life in full. And it's going to be through companies like Mojaloop that have members from the largest payment network out there, Swift. And again, as I've said, we are seeing a lot of employees, a lot of high stature employees as well, like people that were there for 20 plus years, moving away from Swift and now focused on, to me personally, the new financial system, a system that is going well beyond the means of Swift. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. To me, I think that this is extremely shocking connections to very large names. I mean, Mojaloop is one of those companies that everyone's aware of. Like I said, this is not new news, like as we do see, like going all the way back to 2020. This is when, we seen Ripple join Mojaloop. But the developments recently got me thinking again on this, because to me, I do think that Ripple is focused on crypto custody services. I think that they're focused on crypto liquidity services. But I do think that at some point in time, we could very well see Ripple become a pioneer around crypto banking. But I might be wrong, but I do see this coming at some point in time, especially considering the fact that they are focused on crypto custody. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join for Discord down in the description below. This is up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.